Hi, this is Dr. Ali Mugable, and we're doing proposal structure. This is part of our course Research Skills. What we'd like to cover in this presentation is the structure of research proposals. And we are focusing on technical research proposals. On the side here, I have a one-page summary that summarizes the main components of the proposal and what has to be there, some important comments. You'll find this file, this one page, in our website. Now we're going to look at, quickly summarize this, in this short video. We'll look at the abstract, introduction, objective hypothesis, the methodology, budget material and expected results, and we'll conclude with references. Alright, so let's get started. After picking the right title, what comes next is the abstract. The abstract should briefly explain what you will be doing, how you will be doing it, and why. So what, how, and why. Once you write your abstract, make sure that the reader knows what you are going to do, and how are you going to do it, and what is the motivation behind that. All of these should be in the abstract. The abstract should be brief, clear, and easy to understand. It should explain to the person who is reading the proposal, who may not have any technical knowledge. He could be in the management and he is having the fund. He should be able to understand everything you write. I mean, everything to a very good extent. Now, the third point about the abstract, it's usually, and it's most of the cases, one paragraph. So don't go beyond that. It should be one solid, contained idea that is that answer the question of what, how, and why. Now we go from the abstract to the introduction. The introduction should motivate the topic. It should motivate the topic in terms of its importance in application, or in terms of its importance to the research environment or community. This section is an extension of the abstract, so there will be some repetition on the abstract, not word by word, but there will be some kind of extension to the abstract. The introduction explains the background of your research. So once I read the introduction, I should know that you're coming from electrical engineering background or finance or what have you. In the introduction, we should use some references, use citations of the previous work to establish the importance of the work, to show that you have covered and know what is being done, and then to show some gap in the previous work. So the introduction should cover the following: why you will be researching this topic, what problems does this research address, and how the research contributes to the existing body of knowledge. What is the contribution? So in addition to what we mentioned in the abstract, we should be clear about what is expected as a result of this work. The methodology, how you're going to conduct the research, how will this research achieve the questions that is being posed or that you have outlined. So it's more about brief rather than saying exactly what the methodology is and the details. Now, we go from the introduction to stating the objectives. It could usually, in the proposal, it's a standalone section where you clearly state your goals, 1, 2, 3 in bullets, or if it's one point, you clearly state the point. The goal should have been clearly defined in the proposal. I don't want to read the proposal and then don't know exactly what you're going to do. Sometimes, or most of the cases, it will be explicit statement saying that the objective of this research is, or I theorize that this is the case, and then you study whether the theory is right or not. So the hypothesis or the burning question that this work addresses should be clearly, explicitly stated. And if you have multiple objectives, then we have list or bullets. Okay, now the methodology. In the methodology section, we explain what research skills and methodology you will be using. Is it a simulation, experimental, evaluation, or statistical analysis? or whatever technique, you should know exactly how you're going to test your theory. Now, we also can tell at this stage if we already have existing capabilities in our lab. For example, I will be using experimental. It will be a good idea to mention the capability that you have. For example, we have a software-defined radio setup that's already in our hand, and we can use it for our experiment. And also, you mentioned the current and what is needed. You also anticipate any problem. A good researcher would anticipate some problems, for example, the delivery time or the weather condition. So it's good to state this up beforehand, so the one who reads the proposal knows that you are aware of these difficulties. Now we have studied the methodology, and then we go into the expected results. What are the deliverables? What is the output of this work? Again, should be very clearly stated. Explain what you are hoping to find from this project and the timetable. So usually we attach a timetable or Gantt chart where we show that this work is expected to cover 1.5 years. In the first 6 months we're going to do so and so, and this is usually a chart which explains the stages. But now remember that in some agencies, if you are submitting a proposal for fund, then they might have their own template, and we have to respect that. I will try to give a link in our web page, Research Skills web page, in the description to some examples of true research proposal, funded research proposals. If you're doing this for master or PhD thesis, again, the college or the graduate school could have their own template. List all deliverables. So mention that we expect a journal paper out of this, a software package, a simulation software, a prototype. All the deliverables must be clearly stated so we can evaluate the proposal at the end. References. Citations should include, no, it's a citation, so people should be able to go back to references. Make sure that all information are clearly mentioned. The name of the researcher, title of the paper, data base used, whatever you need to do in a formal way. You can use the IEEE standards for citation. We'll talk more about this when we come to writing a full technical paper. But again, you have to do this also in the references when you can use Mendeley or other software to prepare your references. We also have a link to Mendeley software. Additional tips before we conclude: make sure that you proofread your proposal. Grammar, spelling mistakes reflect negative upon the reader, and it might show that you are careless. The one who has all these mistakes in the proposal stage, not expected to have a good research work. Ask colleagues, professors, graduate students, and if you have a mentor, to read your proposal, to proofread it, and have a different brain. Sometimes we read from the end to the beginning to find more mistakes. Okay, so these are some additional tips about writing proposals. As I mentioned, I'll try to provide a link down in the description or in the web page for some realistic funded proposals. Okay, thank you, and here is the reference that I have used to prepare these slides. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you in the next video. Please don't forget to write any comment you may have, any question in the description, and I'll be glad to answer. Thank you again.